Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another one of my Outlander reviews in episode 2 of season 3. So the second episode was pretty good, and it did take a faster pace than the premiere. And as I mentioned on my review of the premiere, it's only gonna keep getting better with every single episode. The episode continued the events of the Voyager novel with an episode title, Surrender, that is very descriptive of the events within. It started with a 6-year time jump, moving from 1746 to 1752. So in terms of Jamie time, we're about 13 years away from Jamie and Claire reuniting. And at this pace, it might actually happen on an earlier episode than I expected on my review of the premiere. But things did change in those 6 years. Jamie, like the cases in the novel, signed his estate to his nephew to prevent the English from taking it over with him being considered a traitor. You've got to love Jenny though. I mean, she's just funny. She cracked me up when she told the English captain how he would find no sign of her traitor brother if he were to search the estate. It is worth noting as well, in the sense that it is really funny, that we've always seen Jenny either pregnant or nursing since the events of Outlander started. Now when speaking of Jamie time, Jamie as well is pretty changed. He's scarred, he's lost, not the person he used to be. But for the majority of the episode, he seems to have well surrendered to what he's become and what his life is like now. But on the other hand, and in Claire time, only 1 year have passed since the events of the premiere. Claire seems to be still hung on Jamie, she's still kinda distant when it comes to Frank, and he's trying his best to be a good father to their daughter. Now you definitely end up feeling bad for the guy every single time he's in a scene with Claire. I mean, she might be trying to allow him to be closer to her, but every time she tries, she only seems to push him further away. Even when they get to their sex life, she's not really there. The eyes closed part is clearly all about imagining Jamie is the one she's with, and the man does notice she's there, but not really there. No pun intended, of course. But circling back to life in Fraserland, Fergus has grown up further, and he's definitely gonna be trouble going forward. Now in terms of the book versus the series, I'm always a bit hazy on what happens when, but the way the kid's been acting made it easy to realize he's gonna be losing a hand before the episode was over. But what definitely disgusts you the most on that episode there was that Scottish soldier. The English captain might seem to mean serious business, but he's definitely not the worst in all of this. It is definitely sad how it is always the one who's supposed to give a fuck that pulls the worst of all shit in these kind of situations. But anyway, it did take Fergus' loss of a hand for Jamie to come back, start to slowly move on, and realize he's needed. And from that point forward, it was all serious business. The episode did not waste much time, jumping into the events of 1753 from the novel. Jamie at that point started arranging for his capture in a manner that would make sure his family would be no longer harassed by the English. Jenny as well, and as a product of that, would end up claiming a reward that would support her and the tenants of their estate. But as I promised on my review of the premiere, Frank's boss was just a hint of what is to come Claire's way as part of her new life in this supposedly modern age, a time where both women and black people are looked down at as incapable and inferior. It is in med school where she would make friends with the man who would later on become her best friend and colleague in these turbulent times, Joe Abernathy. Now this friendship of theirs is gonna find room to grow based on the one thing they've got in common: the hostility they get from those around them, in a time where most people were more ignorant than not, no matter how educated. But the final 2 scenes of the episode were just amazing. There's just this feeling of intersection at the end of the 2 episodes of the season that aired so far, an intersection between Jamie's life and Claire's life. And as the title of the episode indicated, Jamie has surrendered to the English, and Claire has surrendered to her new life. But then we have him going towards his imprisonment, seemingly living through this difficult moment, as Claire passes by this man playing the bagpipes, and those kind of little details are beautifully done in my opinion. But my favorite in general on this episode, one of my favorites over the course of all 3 seasons so far, has always been Jenny. Laura Donnelly, who portrays the role, is just so good and so convincing the way she acts at all. The cast in general is great, but I find her acting to be amazing. The way she says the words when Jamie is captured to mean one thing while they actually mean another was just good. And that expression on her face when she's about to break into tears was just very impressive, very touching, and it just gets to you. But finally, the promo of the upcoming episode promises the return of John Gray to the scene, the man who owed Jamie a debt that his brother seemed to have paid in full on the premiere by sparing Jamie's life. It also does promise us more turmoil in the relationship between Frank and Claire, with the former seemingly becoming more of a drunk. Now if things do go by the book, Jamie's imprisonment on the upcoming episode is not gonna be any kind of ordinary imprisonment. And he should be getting a third nickname as well on the third episodes, besides Red Jamie and Don Bonnet. Now I remember stating how I believe their reunion, his and Claire's, would probably happen around the 6th or 7th episode. But at the current pace, I think it should be around either the 5th or the 6th, most probably the 6th episode. So for everyone who is particularly looking forward to that event, here's something to look forward to. It's probably kicking in sooner than expected. But do let me know in the comments what you thought of the second episode. Did you like it? What was your favorite scene or sequence of scenes? Who's your favorite character on this episode? But more importantly, what in terms of episode count do you expect the reunion to come our way? Let me know as well if you liked this review by slapping it a much appreciated like, and while you're at it, you can always subscribe and enable notifications. But until I see you next time, thank you all for watching and have a great day.